instead. And the future is now. And the future is SPY all the way to 400, right? Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. The SPY is going all the way down to 360, right? Wait a minute. Or wait a minute. Maybe it just goes sideways. Is that the future? Okay. I know I'm joking. I know this is ridiculous, but I'm not here to predict the future, okay? We're here to basically let you know what to do in these scenarios. Obviously, we know the market, okay? It can travel 3 directions. It can't go backwards, okay? It can't. It can go up, down, or sideways, okay? It can't go back in time. Sorry, we can't. I wish we could, but we can't. So anyway, here's the deal. We're right on the 50. Think about the market here, okay? Is this a dip, or is this a correction, or is this the start of a crash, okay? And in my opinion, I think that this is a dip, okay? Not just because the stimulus passed in general, because I've seen this pattern. This happens all the time, okay? But anyway, even if we go back right here, okay, we see that it hit the 50 and bounced heavy up off the 50. I'm not going to say it's going to do the same thing, but we definitely have the bull catalyst with the House passing the stimulus bill and the Senate probably passing the bill. Okay, that's definitely going to put a lot of it's going to build consumer confidence for sure, and it's just going to provide liquidity to the market. So that's the bull case for, hey, we're heading back up to 400. Okay, and that's what I think personally is going to happen. But to tell you the truth, the only way we're going to probably know within 2 days. 3 tops, meaning Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. After those days, you're going to know which direction we're going. It's not going to be a mystery at that point. Right now, it's kind of a mystery. Are we heading back up? Well, if it pops up, let's say it goes up Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Well, isn't that reverse the direction? Well, what if it heads down Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday? Okay? Or even just barely heads down for a couple days or barely heads up. Isn't that kind of giving us direction? Right now, it looks like we're basically heading down and, in a downtrend, essentially. But bouncing off that 50, there's strong support there, at right around 380, 379, 380. And so there's definitely some support there. So, but as far as, going sideways, yeah, that's possible. We could get chop all week and kind of go sideways. We can go down and then everybody gets panicky and sells off and then it spikes back up and then, same thing. We could literally go sideways all week. I don't think so. That usually doesn't happen in the market. Once you see direction, then people move in. So if people see that we're getting bullish, people start buying more. So that moves the direction up. Okay, so I think it based on Monday and Tuesday is going to give us the indication of when to jump in or whatnot. Okay, so I wanted to start off with that as far as the SPY discussion. Okay, because I know a lot of people probably lost a lot of money last week. I mean, we personally trimmed a lot of money in the past. When it got up pretty high, like in the 392 range, we trimmed a lot of our positions down. I mean, we were running 80 to 90% stocks. And now we're running, we got that all the way to about 25, 30% stocks. And now we're right around 50, 40 to 50 range. So, but I'll show you that a little bit more so you get a detail. I wanted to go over a few things in the video. One of them obviously is the market as a whole, because that's going to pull your stock up or down no matter what it is. And then I wanted to cover Tesla update, Palantir update, SI update, and also wanted to let you know, basically I made a spreadsheet of the portfolio, and so you can see the different stocks we're holding currently and stuff like that exactly. And also basically portfolio performance in different time frames. So you can see like basically what my strategy is. I don't want to do anything that could blow up my account. and I don't want to do anything that's super ultra conservative that you basically don't make any money. So I'm trying to balance that risk reward. Okay, and I try to do that all the time. We may as well go under Tesla for our first update. And remember, I talked about it in the last video that I made about strategy of trading, and it kind of went bad on me. Okay, and I'm going to explain it in detail, basically what happened, like my mindset of it, and how I made a couple mistakes, and how you can learn from these mistakes. And it wasn't really costly. It was just I could have made money in the situation, but I end up losing a little bit instead of making a decent amount of money. So anyway, we talked about in the video how it could shoot down. You can see where the circle is up here, of how basically it broke the 50 and then basically sold off. Okay, and we called it basically, most likely, like I said, percentage-wise, that it was going to go down. So, and it did, and when it bounced back up, and let me go to the 5-minute real quick so it'll make more sense. So it basically, we did buy in at the 740, okay, and you can see it probably hang on upper left-hand corner. So we bought in, let me pull up the rectangle here. Okay, we bought in here just like I wanted to do. And then it came up and I got a little complacent. So instead of setting a stop immediately and saying, you know what, we bought it 742, let's set the stop for 735 or whatever, I never set the stop. And I was like, okay, we're fine, it's heading up. So I just like kind of ignored it, right? So I got complacent, figuring, okay, we're pretty good. We're pretty low right now with Tesla anyway at this range. So sure enough, it pretty much just bounced and I had a chance to get out and make $1,000 or whatever it was. And get out maybe like $20 a share, $15 a share, whatever it was. But anyway, it tails down towards the end of the day and then had a big sell-off. And then I was like, okay, great. Okay, I dogged it. I didn't get out in time. And I was like, you know what? Okay, no problem. Either way, I had strategy for the next day. But it dipped down. It actually gapped down huge and then sold all the way down to like 620 range. Okay, down in here. And normally I would add in there, but I already had 50 shares running. And I was like, okay, I don't want to commit 70,000 to this in case we do have a massive market crash. And I was like, okay. So instead I ended up buying in Palantir, and I gobbled up a bunch of Palantir low, and I stayed away from Tesla. And I was like, well, I already have 50 shares. So, and I saw it coming up and I was going to add more at about 640, 650. And I was like, nah, let's just hang tight, make sure it's not a dead cat bounce. And so anyway, we ended up getting back a lot of the losses. So instead of losing like 7,000, we lost like 1,500. So, and I sold right when it hit the resistance. Pretty much, I nailed that part of it. But I made the mistake because if I had set the stop at 735 and then got back in at 620, then I would have made a few $1,000s on that trade. I would have avoided the losses and then made a few thousand on top of it. So, but anyway, no worries. It was just, a little learning lesson for myself to make sure that I don't get too complacent when I'm trading, especially, over 30K plus towards something, because, you could lose a few thousand here and there, pretty easily. And anyway, it did end up ramping up all the way up to into the 740 range and then selling back all the way off. And actually on the 26th, I actually did a pre-market trade where it dropped all the way to 667, approximately. I bought it in there, I think about 40 shares, 39 shares, something like that, and also made another mistake. Okay, I could have sold right at the open pretty much at about 705 and just capitalized on a couple $1,000s. And instead, I got complacent again, figuring that we were probably moving up from there. Okay. And then it sold off, and it sold off so fast that by the chance that I had to make a decision on it, it was about, 10 minutes. I was like, oh man, we're already down to 679. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to let it ride, because to me, there was less downside risk at that point. It basically filled the gap. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to hang on to it. But then it ducked down and jetted back up and then sold back off and then jet back up and then sold back off at the end of the day. Okay, so Tesla had a kind of a wild ride, and we're still into those positions right now It's 667, which is basically where it's at now. So we didn't lose or gain anything on there, but I could have gained a couple thousand on that move. So I made 2 mistakes trading on it, and this shows how hard, I mean, I'm usually pretty good at this, but it shows how hard it is to trade when a stock is going down. It's very difficult for me to trade long when a stock is trailing on a downtrend. It's super tough. I tried to do this during the crash back last February, early March, when we had the crash in 2020. I did this, and I actually made a few thousand during that time frame, but it was extremely tough. I mean, I got lucky. Sometimes I'd make 4,000, then I'd lose 2,000, then I'd make 1,000 and lose 2,000 or whatever. So it was extremely tricky, and I only made a few thousand during that crash. But most people, lost money because they were, they were in a lot of stocks. So, and they just sat through the crash. I mean, we sold out at the top of the crash, and, and more or less, I mean, almost all of it. And then I shorted some things in the crash, and I traded around Tesla. But it's trading long around a stock that's going down is really tricky. I still try to do it. Okay. It challenges me for sure, but I end up making mistakes. It's really tough to do. But I wanted to show you that because, it's lesson learned. It doesn't mean I'm going to, it works in the opposite way too. So if I go back, let's say we go back in time, go back again and look at it again, a lot of times I would end up, buying more. Let's say it breaks up at 650 and I buy more, and then it was just a dead cat bounce, and then it heads back down further, and now I lose another $1,500 on the already lost $1,500 or $2,000 or whatever. So it's easier said than done. Oh yeah, well, this is automatically a great dip buy. But in retrospect, you only see that when the data is already accumulated. You're not going to see that at the moment, So, but anyway, no big deal on that. I just wanted to go over that because I thought that was important. But let's go to the future of Tesla, okay? And that's definitely important, okay? So when it comes to the future of Tesla, it's definitely uncertain, Let's go back a little bit to some previous tops in resistance, okay, and supports. Okay, you can see up here, we have a lot of support in here, okay? We have a lot of support in this zone. Obviously, you can see that's where it's bouncing off. Is it going to hold that? Probably. I mean, it could trail down slightly, but there's a ton of support in this area from 541 to 660. It doesn't mean it can't come down to those levels. It definitely can, but there's a ton of support into this area. So, I mean, if you were buying specifically, let's say, and this is just my opinion, this is not financial advice, okay? My opinion is if you were to buy at these levels, at the 500-600 levels for a long-term position, so, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, I don't think you're going to suffer in the long term, 3 to 4 to 5 years, 10 years. You're going to be good. Okay, this is not a bad time to buy for the long term. Now, if you're buying for a swing trade, let's say for a couple weeks, a couple months, that's also potentially not a bad time. You may not catch the bottom perfectly here, okay, but it could potentially be profitable. You could head all the way back up to 800 or so, or maybe even 850, 900, it could pop back up, and you can make a great swing trade on Tesla right here. You've got to consider the fact there could be some more downside, though, if you are doing a swing trade, okay? As far as day trading, like I was doing before, like I was showing, it's extremely tough. Day trades sometimes turn into swing trades for me. This last one's basically turning into a swing trade a little bit, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it. I could be content holding these shares indefinitely and know that I'm going to be up on those positions at some point in time, So, but anyway, so let me think here. Where are we at here? So, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, there's no way for me to know. I don't know. Nobody knows if it's going up or down in the next 5 days. Nobody. Okay? They don't. It doesn't matter who tells you, oh, it's going up or it's going down. Nobody knows. Okay? Sorry. That's just, they don't. Not even the big firms potentially, not even the market makers. But anyway, again, on options, on your option of what to do here, what is your, what's the strategy here? You can see it's below the 50 pretty significantly. It's below the 20 by a ton from 840. I mean, think about it. Okay, let's do the math here real quick because this is important too. Let's take 990 where we started, where we're basically all-time high, okay? And subtract the 775 where we're at now. That leaves 215, okay? $215 per share times, divided by 990, which is where it was at. It's down 21.7% right now. Is that right? That's not right. Sorry. Let me recalibrate that. That's incorrect. It's 880 minus 675. I don't know where I'm getting my numbers from, sorry. Equals, okay, 205 divided by 880 equals, we're down 23.2% right now, okay? 23.2%. Is it going to fall all the way? Did it get down to a 30%? I think it did, actually. It dropped all the way to 620, okay? So let's check here, right here. This is important. Let's see. Sorry, let me get it as accurate as I can. It was close to 900. So let me take 900 minus 621 equals 279 points it dropped from the high, okay? Divided by the 990, 28%. So technically, it basically already had its correction. Think about it on that way. Just forget the market. Forget the market for a minute. Tesla had its correction. Okay? It had its 30% correction, basically. That's a huge drop, 30%. I mean, I know a lot of people with a lot of shares of Tesla. That's a huge, huge drop. I mean, we didn't have any shares up high because, like I said, I trimmed everything off. I trimmed Apple, Tesla, Google, Amazon, everything that we had, our main stocks that I had running long, I trimmed them all to like zero. Okay, I'm leaving only a few things, and I'll show you those on the portfolio. And I trim them all over the place when we were going up. Okay, I trim as we're going up, just like I buy as we're going up. Okay, I'm out when we're going sideways, and I'm out when we're going down. Okay, for the most part. Okay, for the most part. Okay, I mean, obviously, I'm not perfect. I don't get in and out at the most perfect times ever, but I try to do the best I can. And the performance, like I said, basically proves that. I'll explain that. But anyway, back to the 30%. So if you look at it that way, if Tesla already had its correction, it doesn't mean it can't come back down to 30% and keep bouncing off that and then move up. So it doesn't mean we're just going up from here. But the probability, again, that we're moving higher from here is a lot more likely if we've already made our correction. Now, if we go into a market crash, Tesla's going down 50 to 60% total. So, and I talked about that before in a few videos ago, where Tesla would be all the way down to like 400 or 500, okay? And you can see, where is that correction? Yeah, it'd be down to like basically 540. You know, it could even potentially correct all the way down to 500, but that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's likely at all. But is percentage-wise, again, I would give that like a couple % chance of getting to 500. So if you want to wait to get to Tesla, you're going to buy in at 500, you may never own Tesla shares ever, if that's what you're going to wait for. That's my mindset to it. You know, so, I mean, you've got to pick. You don't have to pick the bottom. You can pick a reasonable time and even take a little bit of a loss if that's your strategy. I like buying once things are changing direction. I buy the rallies. Are we in a rally with Tesla right now? Easy answer, no. Okay? So I'm not in usually when we're in rallies. I'm just day trading. That's not like in. I'm not in $100,000 worth of Tesla for a long or a swing or whatever. You know, this is, you know, that I get in for the rallies, okay? And I try to load up everything I can on those rallies. If I have 150K free cash up, then I'll hammer it if I see a big rally. It just depends, you know, how confident I am on the rally, you know. So anyway, Tesla's complicated. The market's complicated. You know, I don't have clear answers to this, you know, but I can do the math, okay? And since we already basically hit our 30%, you don't have a lot of risk now at these levels buying in. That's why I wasn't worried about leaving Tesla in overnight or whatever. I don't care. What's it going to do, drop 100 points on Monday? How likely is that to happen? That's pretty unlikely, okay? So I'm not saying it's not possible. I bet on probabilities of things that happen. There's a higher probability that we've already had a decent sell-off. Okay? This is a pretty big, that's a pretty big drop. I mean, if you think about, it's basically been dropping for 1, 2, 3, 4, it's been dropping for 5 weeks. Okay? I mean, does it need to drop a lot more? Does it need another 4 or 5 weeks to drop? Unlikely. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about it right now. But then again, I'm not loading in because we're not in a rally. If we jump into a rally, but it's hard to rally when you're below the 50 and below the 20. We're going to have rejections at different levels. So it's more like of a bounce. I'm going to play the next bounce whenever it is. And we're already in a little bit on Tesla. But anyway, that's the breakdown that I see of Tesla. I wish I could give clear direction, but I don't know. There's no way to know. For my favorite stock of 2021, okay, this is by far my favorite stock. And I can go under all the bullish cases for it. And I'm not saying it's going to go up like massively in 2021. Okay, I have a price predictions and I'll lay that out on my when I show you the spreadsheet. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about the company in general. And my bull case for the company is this. And I don't know if you guys heard about potentially, and this is a total rumor, but there was some Facebook posts that they were hiring job posts for people who have Palantir experience. Well, why in the world would Facebook do that? Or honestly, why would any company do that? So, and it doesn't mean that Facebook is going to sign some deal with Palantir. But here's the point. Palantir is going to sign deals with all kinds of companies in the future. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't care which company it is. If Palantir signs deals with big companies, making them stronger, making them better logistically, making them make better decisions. It's basically a brain that's teaching the brain. Okay. And that's what Palantir is basically software does, as far as my understanding. It's basically the brain that teaches the brain. You don't have to, you can use the computer to tell the operations management how to do things. Okay. And makes them better, faster, makes them more money. So the Palantir is definitely the future of how software is going to be used for other companies to constantly make companies better and to manage data properly. So, and I just think that's a big field, and Palantir is, to me, dominating already. And they're already at like a $44 billion market cap. Okay. So that's pretty big. And, and I played the rally when it broke out. You can see the day after it broke out, we bought in. So I like playing the rallies, and then it went sideways and we just kind of hovered. Okay, I did leave a little bit of shares in so we could make money when it broke out, or they had news, and they had news where they signed a deal with the FDA or this or that or whoever. I don't remember exactly, and that pumps the stock up. They're going to have constant news like that down the road of different contracts. Every contract that they have news on is going to move the stock up. Every one. They're not going to be negative news about, oh my God, we just signed a $2 billion contract or 40 million or 20 million or whatever contract with certain companies or entities, and that's going to drive the stock down. That will never drive the stock down. It's always going to drive it up. So this is what I like about the company too. You're always going to get these fun surprises that are going to push the stock up. Yeah, the reason, and let's go to why we had some sell-off. Everybody, I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but the lockout period, and the insiders sold millions of shares. And I'm talking about from Peter Thiel to basically a ton of the officers. There was a lot of selling. So to me, after seeing the actual selling, I thought it probably should have dropped even more than it did. But I don't know if that's the end of the selling, but it's probably going to trickle down as far as the major inside selling. And you're talking about millions and millions of shares. So I think that'll trickle down, and you can see we did, hold some support around 23. If we lose 23, I'm going to be a little concerned, but if we lose 20, I'm really going to be concerned. Okay, this is our biggest position right now. We have 2,300 shares right now running a Palantir. And I'm perfectly fine with it at this level. Now, basically here, let's box it too. Let's just take this for example and say, look, we're in sideways movement here, okay? We're totally in a sideways brick. Well, what happens? Okay, pops up, it hits down, pops back up, hits down, pops back up, hits back down. Well, what's next? Popping back up? Well, that's just logical. It doesn't mean it can't just continue to fall, okay? But I'm just saying it's more logical, once again, probability-wise, that I think we're going to move higher on Palantir, But, I mean, this is just me kind of, guessing at this point. I don't have any insider information. I just know what's been happening. Most of the shares in my mind that they were going to sell after the lockout period, they sold. And they didn't sell a lot percentage-wise. They only sold like 10 to 20% of their amount of shares that they had, So it wasn't like, oh, they were just selling all of their shares. No, So I think Peter Thiel sold 20 million shares and he had 220 million shares or something. I can't remember exactly. I would have to research that again. But the point being is he maybe sold like 10%. It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. 20 million. Let's figure it out. What was it? If he sold 20 million shares, is that right? Yeah, 20 million shares times, I think he sold at 25. So, Jesus, that's 500 million. Okay, $500 million. So, but once again, he has like billions of dollars worth of Palantir stock. So anyway, but he's the primary. I think he's the primary holder. I think, as far as I'm aware. So, but anyway, I'm pretty sure he thinks that the stock's going to go higher. In my mindset here with Palantir, this is how I look at it and how I break it down. And again, I'll break it down. I'll show you on the spreadsheet in the future. But the way I look at Palantir is like long term. Like in 5 years from now, Palantir, in my opinion, will probably be half the size of Facebook. Okay, that is, Facebook is now, so I think Palantir is probably going to be in the 300 to 400 billion dollar range. So it's probably going to 8x to 10x or whatever from here. That's my estimation, what I think Palantir is going to do. Well, you can say, well, why don't you just throw everything you have into Palantir if you're so confident in Palantir? Well, I don't do that, period. What if I make a mistake? What if I'm wrong? What if Palantir comes down to 12 and just hangs around 12 for the next 5 years? Okay, and just keeps going back and forth from 12 to 15 to 8 to 15 or whatever for 5 years. Then I'm not making any money. Then I've lost half of all the money I have, and then I'm not making any money either. So why would I do that? Okay, that's just why. I mean, the point is if you have 5 chances, what are the chances of me making 5 mistakes versus what is the chance of me making 1? Okay, it's again about probabilities. If I pick 5 companies that I think are going to dominate over the next 5 years, and I am picking those companies, okay, and this happens to be one of them, okay, that I think is going to dominate and be much higher share value and just company value over the next 5 years, if I pick 5 different companies, then I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right at least 3, if not 4 out of 5. I might be wrong 1. I might actually hit them all. I don't know. But I mean, for the most part, I think I'm probably going to hit probably 80% or 4 out of 5, or even at least 3 out of 5. And if I do, then I'm going to be much, much higher, even if the other 2 don't like totally collapse. So, but anyway, Palantir is one. Tesla is another one, obviously. SI is a third one. So let's go into SI. So for SI, for example, again, this happened almost too quick for me to even digest because it happened super slow to begin with. I had been tracking SI since the IPO, okay, and I had been following this because there was a lot of talk of cryptocurrencies and blockchain and everything, and I was just starting to get some knowledge about it. I was very, very new to it myself personally, and the stock basically, again, did what a lot of stocks do, okay, and what they do is they go sideways for a long period of time. This is basically a year. This stock basically went sideways. Okay, it sold off into the crash, went sideways, and finally broke out. And once again, I like playing. I don't want to hold it for a year making no money or potentially losing money. But when it broke out, that's when we started buying it. Okay. And this is playing the rally again. Now, and I'm buying back into SI. Like I just bought back in, I don't know, 90 shares or something the other day. And buying them because, once again, the value is getting lower and lower, and it's getting down closer to the uptrend. So there's nothing wrong with buying it, towards the uptrend. When I say, I don't want to confuse people when I say, never buy going down. Okay, well, that's impossible. You're going to buy and stocks are going to go down. So it's not about that. Don't buy on downtrends. Okay, this is an uptrend. You can buy anywhere in this uptrend you want, and you should feel pretty comfortable about it. I'm not saying to buy on the top of the uptrend. I try to avoid buying on the tops of uptrends. Okay, I wouldn't try to buy here. I actually trimmed up here and sold off all of it up here at 145, 142. I can't remember where I sold every share out, but right at that level. Now I'm starting to buy back in as it's getting closer to the 50, closer to that uptrend, and we have some bullish confirmation on the market. So anyway, that's what I'm looking for now. I don't mind dollar cost averaging a little bit. I just don't want to do it on a massive downtrend or a crash. So I'm just gently getting into SI. I mean, I'm pretty loaded into Palantir. I don't think I'm going to add a ton more, maybe 500 to 1,000 shares total. I don't think I'll go over 3,000 shares of Palantir indefinitely. That'll probably be my core position on Palantir. But as far as SI, I'm probably going to build up. This is tough. I really don't know. I haven't really thought about it, so I'm kind of like winging it right this second. I would say maybe, let me think. If it's at 120, let's say I'm cost averaging it approximately like 115. Let's see, 115 times 1,000. I'm sorry, times 100 is what the heck is that? Why am I struggling on my math? Yeah, $115 a share times 100 shares. So for every 100 is 11.5. So I would probably do 500, somewhere about 400 to 700 shares. I want to do about somewhere between 40 and 60,000. The reason being is it's based on the percentage of the account portfolio. So I take 300 and let's take 50,000. Let's say divide it by 372,000. Is 13%, okay? So that's perfectly fine. I don't really want to push over 20% on a specific stock, but I definitely want more than 10% on something that I have high conviction of. So anyway, somewhere in that ballpark, somewhere between $40 and $70,000 worth, or maybe 400 to 1,000 shares. Okay, we've already made, I'd say probably 30,000. I really don't know. Probably 25 to 40,000 already on SI, but it all happened really quick. I mean, remember, this is back in, this is crazy. This is all the way back in October, let's see, November, December, January, February. Wow. It's like four and a half months, not quite even 4.5 months yet. So that's a huge move. 1,000%. In 4.5 months, pretty much. I probably should have had a lot more shares running, but it is what it is. So I'm perfectly happy with this move. I called it, and I jumped it. I didn't, I babied it a little bit. Like I said, I should have had more conviction, but I wouldn't have thought that it would shoot up this much, this fast again. It's kind of like Tesla. I don't think anybody thought Tesla was going to go up 1,000% within like a year span. I mean, that's a crazy amount to go up. So I think we're going to need some consolidation probably on SI too. So potentially. So we may need to sit here and consolidate sideways for a while. I mean, it might be a couple months, going sideways on SI potentially. But anyway, I'm going to see how this plays out. I'm going to probably add more to it in the next probably 3 or 4 days. We'll see how the market reacts this week before I commit anything. So I don't have any real plans right this second with SI. Before I go into the portfolio, I wanted to go over my channels. So as far as basically, it would be if you subscribe to the channel, you can always see my buys and sells of any major significance on the community page. You just click on the community page and you will see, let's say, see, bought 25K Tesla at 667 pre-market, bought 12K in SI in pre-market, and, you know, giving you some reasons what I'm doing, and basically, you know, just the mindset and what we've got going on, how much we have in cash. It's important to have a certain amount of cash and a certain amount of stocks all the time. So I try to keep everybody posted on that, you know. So once again, just letting you know what we do, and you can see different, you know, we post different buy and sell spots, you know, our charts. See, we had a big loss the other day. You know, I'm posting everything. I'm being as transparent as possible to everybody to show you everything that's going on, as much transparency as I can. You know, you can see the bloodbath the other day, and I was posting all the crazy losses that people had. I didn't have hardly any of these stocks. I mean, I had SI, I think, but I didn't have a lot of these stocks. I actually sold off a ton of these stocks. I sold off FUV towards the top, FCell towards the top, NNDM towards the top, DDD, Space. Oh my gosh, yeah, Space. We made it. We made a killing on Space. Let's see what else. Neo, I caught a loss on. Let's see. Let's see. Invita, I caught a little bit of a loss on. Tesla, we caught a loss on. GME, I made like $1,200 on a dead cat bounce play on that one. There was so much, you know, information around that one. That was an easy trade to make some money on that deal. But let's see. So anyway, so I just wanted to give you the heads up on that, and you can go to the homepage. You can see all the videos. I do a lot of
see your stock fall?
Instructional videos on different things, and I talk about Palantir and Tesla, S&P 500, Space. Let's see. We do a lot of stuff on vehicle breakdown, stuff like that. The RoboTax network. Oh yeah, by the way, if there's any, we have a lot of spreadsheets that we put out for free. So if you want any of the spreadsheet we have, dollar cost averaging or Robotaxi network, that's one of the most popular ones, so people can figure out if they put their car in the Robotaxi network, how much they can make, stuff like that. And then we have, you know, basic investing videos that you could, you know, go to, and, you know, we have different videos for that I've been posting, and you can scroll down and check those out. So if you like that type of content, and you can see what we've done with Tesla in different stocks at different times, because I'm showing you what we're doing when we're doing it during these plays. So, but anyway, so I wanted to get into that, but let me show you the portfolio spreadsheet really quick. Let me pull that one up. So anyway, you might want to use a computer or what do you call it, a tablet or a television or something. I'm going to try to zoom in as much as I can and show you this, like what's going on. Like, we have so many different accounts. What we've done in the last year, and especially in the last 6 months, is we've added a lot of accounts. What we've done is I want our whole family, everybody in our family, a lot of our close friends even, to have, and their kids and their grandkids to have accounts. And it's not really a charity thing. It's more like, I just want to do anything I can to improve the lives of other people. Okay, because not everybody has the knowledge that I have when it comes to stocks, or even just knowledge at all towards the market or stocks, and they just, you know, just don't know what to do. So, you know, I'm doing the best I can to help other people as well. But as far as the portfolio, this shows basically like how many shares we have in Tesla, Palantir, SI, Google, whatever, all of our different nickel and lithium stocks that we have covered in the real low, super small cap tech stops. And we also, like I said, I've sold off so many different companies that they're not on this list, you know, Apple and, you know, whatever, like different companies. Let me pull that up just for a second, and I'll basically show you all the companies. And we went over a lot of that in general, but yep, sold all the Disney. Disney was the one I probably shouldn't have sold, but, you know, that's hindsight. Apple, Disney, NNDM, DDD, you know, we've pretty much sold off, you know, BioNTech, Pacific Biosciences, Asana, let's see, Neo, of course, CRISPR, all of these. We had all of these in our accounts, and I would have probably lost another $20,000 or $30,000, but basically I was, I cut them when I should have, and I didn't get greedy on it, and I cut them, and we probably would be down another 30, 40,000 easily if I would have held through the last couple days with all of the shares that I've been writing. But anyway, so back to the spreadsheet, and you can see that if we go to the totals here, let me get to the totals. Let's see. So we have, and let's say, for example, Tesla shares, we'd have 37 right now. We have 2,335 Palantir shares. We have 80 shares. And this is the current price, not like the price we bought them for. This is the current price that it's at now. And then we have, let's say, 80 shares of SI, Google, a lot of nickel, like I said, nickel, lithium, and some other stocks. So, and then you can see the account totals, like 25,000 Tesla and 57,000 Palantir. So we're pretty much built up on a position on Palantir. I probably won't go over maybe 70K on Palantir. So, and that's 15% of the account value. So that's basically what I want to be at with a few stocks. I want to have 5 or 6 stocks that have about 15 to 20%. And I just, honestly, I can't find them out there. And there's probably, if you have suggestions of what you think 2021, actually, this is a great one for the comment. Do me a favor and comment on it, and let me know the your top pick for 2021. What stock is going to make the biggest charge in 2021? I don't know, honestly. Palantir's already went up for us a lot. SI has already went up for us a lot. Tesla is, crushed it in 2020. So I don't know if these, are really going to have a big move in 2021 now. They've already had a monster move. So I'm looking for a few companies to really get invested in for 2021. So comment on that and leave me your best stock, and I will definitely check it out. I might even chart it and put it on my next video. Especially, I will for sure if I buy those shares of that stock. So, but anyway, and then I have the calculations for the total account value. So you can see the percentages of how much percent. Like, I don't hold anything to any high percent right now. Total stocks, 208K, so it's a very low percent. Oh, let me total that up. I didn't do that actually. So let me total that up. So 55%. See, we have 45%, 55% stocks and 45% cash, I guess. If that's accurate. And then let's see. Oh, price targets. I might as well. Most people don't do price targets, but I like doing them because it's fun. I really don't care if I'm right or wrong. It's just I like having a general idea of what I think that the price of a stock is going to be at. I think Palantir could easily, and when I have a price target, that's the minimum price target I think that stock will be at by the end of the year, not in 1 year's time. By the end of this year, I think that Palantir, for example, let's use that as the example, will be at about $50 a share. I'm pretty sure they'll probably get a couple big contracts this year that could push the stock up. It could go up to 50, 70, whatever. I think the minimum probably is going to be somewhere around 50. Okay, it's going to probably be worth about 60 billion, maybe $70 billion by the end of the year as far as the market cap for Palantir. And that would put our shares at 116,000. So our 57,000 would, basically turn into 116,000 if that price target meets by the end of this year. It doesn't mean I'm buying or selling or anything like that. It just means that should be the Palantir account value. If, obviously if the spreadsheet works correctly, which it does. So, and then let's say for a 3-year price target, I have about 150. Okay. And I'm going to explain why for the 3-year and the 5-year. Okay. 5-year, I would say about 400. And again, this goes with the market cap of, let's say, Facebook. I think that Palantir has a TAM, total addressable market, that's massive. Okay. And I think this company is going to be one of the biggest companies in the world over the next 5 to 10, maybe 15 years. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I think this stock definitely has the chance. This company does. So, but anyway, so 400, again, that would be basically 10xing, a little bit, more than that, but it would be approximately half the value of, of Facebook. So somewhere in that range, maybe 300 to 400 range, and that would put us at almost $1 million worth of Palantir 2,000 shares if it gets up to 400 a share over the next 5 years. It doesn't mean I'm not going to buy and sell it or trade it. I don't know about that. It depends on if there's a massive market crash and I have to duck out and reposition or whatever. But in general, this is this is my plan for a more long-term play on Palantir. Tesla's also a big long-term, but I mean, I would think that maybe 1,000 a share by the end of the year. Basically, if they get that Cybertruck rolling on time, that's going to be huge. And I think that'll definitely bump the stock up to 1,000 minimum. It doesn't mean it can't finish the year at 700 or 800 or whatever. But I mean, I think it'll probably end up doing pretty strong as long as their sales numbers are strong for the Model 3 this year and the Y. Then I think that they're not going to lose much ground, that they can only gain a little bit of ground, I think. So a lot of people might have a higher price target than that, but like I said, that's my minimum. Like I think it's somewhere between maybe 1,000 and 1,500 a share. So it could technically double from where it's at now. It could go up 100%. So we're definitely going to have Tesla shares for sure this year. And I might be trading around it, but I might be having a long-term core position as well. Like I said, around that range of 40 to 70,000. Obviously, I have to get, for more shares of Tesla, I have to pay more because it costs more per share, obviously. So we'll see how that plays out. But, I don't have any immediate plans on that. SI, the same thing. I'm trying to gradually get in. I still think there's a lot more, the market cap I think is around 3-4 billion. And I think there's definitely room to grow in the crypto space. So as long as crypto keeps going up, Bitcoin, everything, as long as there's a lot of momentum on there, there's going to be a lot of momentum on SI. There just is. Okay, if there's more and more people trading it, SI is going to benefit, and that stock is going to continue to move up. So if they get to 10 billion, I think that'll be pretty high there, but they could still 2 or 3x from where they're at, especially over the next 3 years. I'm really conservative on my price targets there. But so anyway, and I'm going to add more shares, obviously, to SI. So, and anyway, those are my price targets there. And I have a few other price targets you can see that I'm just kind of, estimating just for the fun of it. You can obviously, look that over if you want, pause the video and kind of check out what I think, but I'm definitely betting heavy on the nickel lithium supplier chain. Okay. The supply chain to all the EVs that they're going to have to produce and every battery that they're going to have to make is going to be big. Okay. It's going to be huge. I just think that there's such a low risk. Granted, they're so low market caps. I mean, you can invest directly in the batteries, which is what I'm looking at too. So let me flip back to the batteries. F-Cell is one of them. Let's see. Quantum Space is another one. You can invest in the charging network too, like Blink or whatever. Let me think. There's a few more, SBE or whatever. There's a few more plays you can make too. Plus the other EV plays like NEO or all these other CCIV or Lucid or whatever. You could definitely, get involved in that electric area. It's just a question of where do you want to be? So I'm seeing some weakness in F-Cell, but not as far as the light, think about F-Cell. Everybody's all over F-Cell. Well, F-Cell was technically, obviously they split probably a million times, but they were at like 5,700 a share. And now F-Cell is at $17. So $5,000 to $17. So would this have been a great buy and hold from the beginning? Or would you be basically lost your whole account value? You'd have lost it all. You'd have lost 99+% if you'd have bought and hold. This is why I don't buy and hold. Okay? So if you have F-Cell and you have it thinking this is the greatest long-term play ever, you might want to rethink that. Okay? That's crazy. Let's look at somebody else because that's terrible. Blink just started out, so Blink's all right. Let's check Pola Power. Pola Power started out. Let me think. Is there any? Let's see. SBE was obviously the SPAC there, or switchback. Hang on a minute. Geez, I was trying to find that other one. What was it? Anyway, I can't find it right offhand. Can't remember. Oh, Quantum Space. Yeah, Quantum Space is the battery deal, but that's been performing strong. So, but anyway, there's a lot of ways to play that, and I don't make commitments to stuff without proper research. So I don't know enough about these companies. I did hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of research on Tesla. Okay, before putting a nickel on Tesla. We spent so much time on the company, the product, and I was just blown away. And that's why we bought it in where we bought it in at whatever, $48 a share. Okay? And that's pre-split. I don't even in retrospect I look at that as like lucky in a way, but I mean, go over one of my first videos where you see Tesla and the Tesla breakout and it'll make perfect sense. You know, I was just betting on the technicals that they broke right after the time I did the research. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like the perfect time in the world to get this stock. And nobody even knows it. I mean, but it wasn't nobody. It was just only a lot of YouTubers knew about it. A lot of people that had followed Tesla for the past like 8 years or so. You know, I've only been following Tesla for a couple years now, but I just happened to follow it at the right time. So, but anyway, I just wanted to, cover some of that because, this is where we're going. We're going to the electric side. So, where's your plays going to be? So again, if you have what is the stock? What is the stock you like the most? And if you say Tesla, I'm going to strangle you for 2021. If you think it's actually going to be the highest, mover of 2021, it had its move. Now it has to basically consolidate and digest that. It literally ate an elephant in 2020. It ate an elephant, man. It has to digest it. Okay? It's full. Okay? I don't know how to explain that anymore to people. It's full. I'm not saying you can't buy it now. Go ahead. But if you think it's going to go up to 2,500 by the end of the year, you're probably crazy. You're probably not thinking logically of how the market and how stocks work. I'm one of the biggest fans of Tesla. My Tesla in the car, I love it. In the garage, okay? My Model 3 Performance rocks. There's no car that is better than that car. I don't care what people say. They obviously haven't been in it and driven it around enough to understand the power of that car and just the comfort, the ease of use, the safety is unreal. I literally, just to give you a quick story, I was driving in the other day into the garage. Okay, get this. This is insane to me. Okay, and if your car does this, let me know in the comments. But I doubt it. So anyway, I'm driving in the garage and my daughter comes rushing out of the garage and I just like kind of took my eye off it a second. I didn't realize she was going to kind of dart out in front of the car. But so I just pop over the little hump going into the garage and I might have been going like 2 or 3 miles an hour, whatever. I don't even know if it was 5 miles an hour. And I was just pulling in the garage and all of a sudden the car locks up. It literally broke in less than a foot, stopped dead. And shut down, and it said emergency braking activated. I was like, what the hell? I thought I broke the car. Literally, I thought I broke it. I thought, oh my God, what the hell did I do? And then I realized it saw the radar, front collision radar warning, saw my daughter, didn't know if she was going to jump out, didn't know if I was going to stop, made the decision for me, and just stopped the car. I was like blown away. I'm sorry. Let me know if your car would do that. If your car is going to automatically brake before it hits your daughter or your son or your dog or another car or a person. Will it automatically do that? Okay. Think about it. What car has that technology? So if you guys think I'm bearish on Tesla, then again, you don't understand what I am telling you. Okay. I've been super bullish on Tesla ever since we bought in. And I bought in as much shares as we could afford at the time, and we made like 450+%. There's no way for me to calculate it because I got in, got out like dozens of times. It would take a freaking monster spreadsheet just to figure that out. But here's the gist of it, okay? Here's the gist of it. Okay? This is 2 years. and we're at 98K. Now we're at 372K, and a huge chunk of this is Tesla. Okay, a huge chunk of it. Okay, because I mean, I think we had $50,000 worth of Tesla shares at maybe 450 cost average when we started buying in at 240. Once again, pre-split. So I don't know what the range is. And but anyway, Tesla has probably made about, I don't know, $150,000 to $200,000 of this gain, and then the other amounts were made from Palantir, SI, Airbnb, some other trades, short trades, just, but mainly, I would say Tesla was one of our biggest movers. So this is the max, like 2 years is, I guess, all it shows. But you can see basically the trend. I mean, if this was a stock, would you buy this company? That's what you have to think. If you're going to subscribe, you know what? Either if you're a subscriber and you wouldn't buy into this company, then unsubscribe. If you are not a subscriber and you would buy this company based on the chart, then subscribe to the channel. And maybe your chart will start looking like this. Will constantly be going up. That's the range for 2 years. Well, here's 1 year, 100%. If you made 100%, if I could say, look, you're going to make 100%. Next year, would you be happy with that? Would that not be enough? Okay, or would that be good? Would that be great? I mean, it depends on your mindset. Is 100%? 100% is good for me when I'm shooting for 50. 100% is good. It's not amazing by any means, but on the whole portfolio, that's what counts. It's not about whether you made some good trade on one stock one time. Who cares? It's how your portfolio performs year after year, okay? So, and it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 or 5,000 or 100,000. It's how much percent you make. That's what matters. Focus on making the right decisions and not blowing up your account. I saw so many people blow up their account on the GME fiasco and all the meme stocks. They blew up accounts. I saw so many accounts blown up, and I was like, wow. Yeah, there's a lot of millionaires made as well, but a lot of people blew up their accounts. You do not want to blow up your account if you have 100 grand and throw it all in one stock, and then all of a sudden you got 10 grand left. Do you know how long it's going to take you to build that 10 grand up again? It's going to take way too long. You do not want to blow up your account. So that's a 1 year. And then the 6 month is not too bad. You can see, I mean, the trend is fine. I'm within the trend. My goal is to constantly hold those trends, to keep grinding higher and higher and higher every year, 50% plus every year. So, and this is 2 months. So if, let's say 2 months at 20%, then you're looking at 120%. Is that right? I'm sorry. Yeah, 120% in a year. So we're on track. The whole point is we're on track to beat our 50%. But you can see we're stalling. Up here in this zone, this is when we were trimming off, mainly. And I was also on vacation. Sorry. I was on vacation in Tahoe, skiing with my family, and I took them all out there for a week, and, I was still having to kind of trade the market. I was worried about the crash. I honestly thought it was going to crash when I was out there from what it was kind of looking like. And sure enough, it takes another week. I'm always like a little bit ahead, a little too ahead, where I'm seeing something before it happens, and then I just get a little too eager, But anyway, and then it's basically the same as SPY. The SPY will look pretty much identical to this. And that's the year to date, and then the 1 month change. Yeah, you can see the 1 month change dip down. This is where we basically cut it. Cut a lot of the positions, up in that zone, And of course, we didn't make any money during a couple of those days, but we also didn't take as big of a hit going downward. Like honestly, if I would have maintained all those positions, we'd be down under 355, probably 350. That would have broke the trend. I would have broke the trend on that one. Would I have broke the trend on the 3 month at 355? Yeah. Trend broken. If I wouldn't have sold out there, trend would have been broken on the year to date. 1 year? Yeah. Trend would have been broken, but barely. It would have been barely broken on the 1 year. And the 2 year, no. The 2 year, no. No, not really. Maybe a little bit. But that's the whole point. I want to continue this upward trend. So once again, if you want your charts to look like this, your portfolio to grow like this, okay, then subscribe to the channel. Follow, go to the community page like I was telling you. And anytime, oh, here's another thing you guys can do is come on to Blaze Capital. Justin has a stream. Matt has a stream in the morning. Justin has a stream at noonish, and I'm there all the time. So if you want to chat and learn, and he is very sophisticated, of a trader, investor. He knows a lot about the market. He covers all kinds of things. So, but I'm on there all the time. So all you have to do is type in, hey, at future is now, and say hi over there. I'm there 5 days a week. I'm there every day, basically, and learning, still continuing to learn, because I can continue to get better than I am now. Okay, everybody can. So, but anyway, if you wanted to, I'm not promoting his channel, but he does have pretty much the best trading channel out there as far as I'm aware of. And I've checked a ton of them, and it's not a channel that's going to tell you, oh yeah, buy this stock at this point, buy this stock at that point. They're there to teach you how to become better traders and better investors. And that's the same thing that I try to do here. I'm not trying to make money. I don't make any money from YouTube. Okay. I'm here to try to help other people, get better, not make mistakes, not blow up their accounts, and continually make good percentages, because year after year, your account will compound and you will make a ton of money. Okay. So anyway, that's my spiel. And I hope you guys got some knowledge from this and some insight from this upload today. So I hope you guys have a great week. And remember, be patient this week. Okay, be patient. You don't have to jump in at the first sign of any improvement, but be patient and watch what's going on, because we should have some direction. So good luck, everybody. Take care.